When Hyundai launched its Genesis luxury brand several years ago, it's hard to imagine that the Korean automaker would be making better vehicles than the Brits. But that's exactly what they're doing. Making cars that have all the style, all the class that you'd expect in a Jaguar or Land Rover, but doing it with the quality and the precision you'd expect from the Koreans. And that's exactly what we have this week with the 2024 Genesis GV80 Prestige. This is their high-end midsize crossover. Let's go look at it. To suggest Genesis merely copied the British is really unfair, but there is a certain British class and elegance to this vehicle that I find appealing. Starting with the front, it does have Hyundai's trademark grille. Oh, this one's chrome and really big and in your face. Of course, the logo, lots of chrome in the front. And I really like these twin thin LED lamps in the front too. Again, something that Genesis is very good about doing on their vehicles. You look at the rest of the vehicle, there's just a precision to the lines and just the way everything is formed. And it looks really good over the 22-inch wheels. But when you come back to the vehicle, I mean, this is a pretty big two-row crossover, very comfortable with 5 people aboard, but it doesn't look that big. And it's really, the chrome on the bottom breaks up the body sides, and the way this side line comes down and the hood roof comes down, it just really kind of looks very nice. And it's just so planted over these rear wheels. Beautiful. Nice, nice, nice job. But again, it's unique. It looks like a Genesis, but there's that upper class flair to it that I think really works well for them. Come around the back, same with the tail lamps, the way they wrap around, all the chrome and the vents down below. But it's what's behind that hatch that really matters. It's a pretty big luggage compartment. It's very nicely upholstered, which I like. It feels like wool carpeting and nice mat and stuff. But very well outfitted. But there's a lot of space back here. Again, most people are probably going to travel in this with 2 to 4 people, and I don't think you'll have any trouble getting your luggage in the back of it. Of course, the seats fold down, tri-split, so you can get the skis through if you want to, but you can also put them all down, get the bicycles in, get your bigger stuff. It would be hard to imagine a more indulgent interior outside of a Bentley than we have in the GV80. And just look around the interior. The matte wood, all the wood grains, absolutely beautiful, and the silver finishes, the diamond stitched seats. These have an extendable lower cushion on them. Just the piping, everything just feels like it's orders of magnitude more expensive than what this vehicle actually is. The front seats are heated, they're ventilated, they have massagers in them, a heated steering wheel. I really like the infotainment screen. I like the double screen. I think it was very cool. Very easy to read it, very clear readouts. Got a heads-up display up above, floating over the hood. But these are pretty easy to get to. You got pretty intuitive icons, map, nav, radio, media connections, all that. You've got wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. So pretty easy to get all your devices in there. Lots of storage space down below, USBs in there as well. But this works good. One thing I always say, do whatever you want to do with the style and the infotainment system, but please, please, please just keep proper volume and tuning knobs. And they did. They're nice. They feel like knurled aluminum. They're very expensive feeling. They're smooth, but they're right where they're supposed to be. Volume tuning. Down below that, also very easy to figure out. You've got 2 different knobs, one for each front passenger for setting your temperatures. This has tri-zone automatic climate control. Back seats get their own. Coming down to the console, nice deep cup holders. Drive mode here, drive mode indicator. This is also the controller. If you don't want to use the touchscreen, you can control it here. The gear selectors here. I think this gets a little bit confusing sometimes. I've reached down many times and changed the screen when I was trying to get it into a gear, vice versa. So I wish this would kind of go away and just leave the gear selector. I think this is nice. But just look at the console, like the dual opening doors. Very nice. This has the Bang & Olufsen sound system. Absolutely beautiful. Twin panel sunroof. The suede headliner. Again, just everything you touch and feel and look at feels expensive. So let's talk about safety, because that is also one of Genesis' trademarks. There's little details, like the camera mirror here, so you can see out the back very easily. But it's got the full suite of crash avoidance systems, automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise. You've got lane tracing steering, lane keep assist, blind spot warning, rear cross path detection with auto stop. It's got the rear seat sensors, and it's also got safe exit assist to keep you from stepping into traffic. All that on top of the heads-up display. So pretty much absolutely everything you need to keep everybody safe. I really enjoyed driving the GV80. There is no question that it has plenty of power for what it is. So this has a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, generates 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque. You can just step on the throttle and it moves away really quickly. But most people aren't going to race this vehicle. This is not what it is. This is an elegant, 5-door crossover that you can put your family in. So that power on the highway, it's just comforting. It's nice that when you're running in some speed above the speed limit, there's some power in reserve. But trying to outrace a sports car is not the point of this car. It has an 8-speed automatic transmission, just very smoothly. Fuel economy, again, it goes along with the engine and the powertrain and the power you have. But 16 miles per gallon in the city, 22 on the highway, probably isn't something you're going to brag to your friends about. But again, if you're wanting to enjoy driving the experience, that's probably going to be acceptable to you. One other thing I like is it has the drive modes. So it'll change the steering heft, it'll change the suspension settings. So when it's in comfort mode, it's comfort. It just kind of wafts down the highway. You put it in sport mode and it tightens up. In no mode is this thing like a BMW M Series. So get that out of your mind. But it's a little more fun, a little more engaging, a little more enjoyable drive on the 2 lanes on the weekend. One of the things I do like in the sport mode is it tightens in the bolsters on the seats. So you kind of get snugged in and feel like you're ready to do business. Well, this is not a Hyundai. It is a luxury vehicle, and it's got a price to go along with that. So the GV80 starts under $58,000. This one, Prestige line, twin turbo V6, everything on it, you're looking at $81,300. So again, not inexpensive, but I think if you compare this against other vehicles in its class, BMW X5, the Mercedes GLE, Cadillac Lyriq, even if you want an electric vehicle, I think if you compare against those vehicles, everything that's on this, you'll find it compares very favorably. Well, next week we'll have another fun car, and until then, storm forward.